Hi everyone, I'm Surdur, and I want to talk about Master Duel. So, as you're probably aware, Master Duel launched a few days ago, and I had the time to play with it, and I had fun with it. And if I look at the game and just the game on its own, it's a fun game. It has really high production value, which is a breath of fresh air since most fan games like Hideo Pro and stuff are pretty scarce in terms of animation, although it does mean that duels might take a bit longer than it could be if there wasn't those animations. But overall, I think it's a cool new thing. The dismantling and the generating process to get cards that you want is very generous, getting rid of any 3 cards of the same rarity to basically grab a copy of any card in the game, pretty much, is really generous, and it makes it really easy to build your first deck or two with all the gems that it gives you almost for doing very basic things when you first start the game. The only complaint I have with the game itself and as a standalone game is that when you have multiple materials or multiple cards that you want to target, or let's say that a card would say, oh, banish 2 cards your opponent controls or something like that, is that you have to select each one of them one at a time and confirm each of them one at a time. So basically, if you have to, let's say, if you have a Link tree to summon, you have to select the first monster, confirm, select the second monster, confirm, select the third monster, confirm, and I feel like it would be really helpful if you could just click on all 3 monsters and then confirm. Because some cards, like, it makes a lot of clicks. I don't know if you've ever played Tri Brigade, but they have this trap card that says that you can special summon any number of banished monsters and make a link summon with those monsters. And well, with that means that you have to, usually you go for a Link 4, which means that if you activate Revolt, you need to select a monster that is banished when your graveyard, confirm it. Select the second monster, confirm. Select the third, confirm. Select the fourth, confirm. Then, for each of those 4 monsters, you also have to select the zone to summon them in and their position, just in case there would be an effect on the field that would care about a monster being summoned in a specific zone or in a specific position. Then, you're going to have to select the monster from your extra deck, confirm, then select all 4 of those materials, and once again, select 1, confirm, select 2, confirm, select the third, confirm, select the fourth, confirm, then you summon the Tri Brigade monster, which I feel that because there's a timer, I feel you shouldn't have to take 30 seconds off your timer to activate a single trap, especially when you know what you're doing. And I can't imagine doing that on like a PS4. I would be surprised if anybody that's not like mashing buttons really hard on a PlayStation 4 controller would take less than a full minute to resolve a Tri Brigade revolt right now. And that's basically the only complaint as its standalone game. So, in terms of the fun factor, I don't mind it, but the problem that I have with it is that, well, they basically made, I don't know how to call it other than that, but they basically made false promises. So, for example, they said that in the first announcement back in July, I think the guy's name was Karaoka. He was basically a senior producer for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Digital game development team that they have in Konami. And they said that, well, it would be on a ton of platforms, including iOS and Android. I don't know if you tried downloading Master Duel on your phone, but it's not in the Play Store. And from what I've heard from people that have Apple and iOS, it's not on the App Store either. So that's kind of disappointing because they just didn't release it on a console that they said they would release it on. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is about the TCG. And for those of you who don't know me, which most of you probably don't, I think the best way to summarize how much I care about playing the game and the way the TCG does it is to go back a few years. And I was playing on this platform. I think it was EDO Pro actually. And I saw a weird interaction that I thought was a bug. There was a weird interaction where a spell speed 1 effect, I think it was Multi-Faker, would be able to trigger after a quick effect. I have an example on the screen. I don't remember if that was the exact example I had, but that was the example. But that's basically what happened. And I thought it was a bug, so I went and reported it. And they're like, well, no, that's not a bug. That's just how the OCG handles things. So I didn't bother to check if there was a way to trigger that on EDO Pro, and I just uninstalled it and went on Dueling Book. And I went on Dueling Book fully knowing that I would have to deal with judge calls and waiting sometimes half an hour for a judge to come in when there aren't many available. Or having to deal with cheaters that just try to cheat, or people that just don't know how the rules work, and having to deal with them and argue about rulings and tell them, no, you can't normal summon Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand without tributing. That type of stuff. I went ahead and did that just because I wanted to play with the TCG rulings. Now, I know most people don't care about this as much as I do, but hopefully you can understand how interested I was when, in the same announcement, Karaoke said that Master Duel was differentiated from Duel Links and Legacy of the Duelist as a game that allows players to fully enjoy the OCG TCG. To be quite honest, let's just say that I had really high expectations. In fact, I had so much expectations that I was honestly expecting the game to have trading, because TCG stands for trading card game, and is it really a trading card game without having the ability to trade cards? Now, over time I argued with a few people, and they managed to convince me that it would probably be a bad idea for something like Master Duel to have trading, because, usually and trades aren't equal, and one guy is going to get scammed, basically. But with the way that dismantling and generating cards work, I feel that that aspect isn't too bad now, because it's so easy to just get the card you want, so I feel that even if they had trading, it wouldn't matter. So on the first days, some stuff started popping out on Discord server and stuff, so at some point I just saw someone talk about Maxi being legal, and I was like, well yeah, Maxi is legal in the OCG, that's no surprise. If you're that worried about Maxi being legal, just play with the TCG ban list. But after some time, I learned that no, there was just one ban list, and for some reason, they went with basically an OCG ban list. Mostly. And instead of going with a World's ban list, which I feel that if you're going to have one ban list, you should go with the World's ban list. And then that led me to question, how can you fully enjoy the OCG and TCG if you're going to only have one of the two's ban list, basically? How can you enjoy the TCG part without the TCG ban list? So that got me a bit annoyed, and I also got worried for the TCG exclusive. So I asked someone who I knew really enjoyed Beat Troopers, a TCG exclusive archetype, and I asked them how far they were from completing the deck. And the answer I got was just basically him being angry that the Beat Troopers weren't in the game. Then I went on stream, and after checking for myself that Beat Troopers were indeed not in the game, I looked up a specific OCG exclusive, because I barely know any names for the OCG exclusive cards, and I didn't find it. For some reason, it looks like they went with the World's card pool, but an OCG ban list. I don't understand the logic. And if they went with a World's format for both, maybe you could make an argument that it's OCG and TCG just taking what's still legal in both places. But that's not the case. They went with stuff like Maxi being legal. Around the same time, I also realized that I had no side deck.
Where's my side deck?
Now, I heard from people talking about there being a best of one ranked, but I didn't know best of ones was all you could do. Now, this led to me going on an angry rant for like 10 minutes, because the rest of the complaints were basically, oh, it doesn't have the TCG stuff. But this is something that's missing from both the OCG and TCG in a game where players are supposed to fully enjoy the OCG TCG. Like, if you go to a tournament, whether that's in the OCG or TCG, you're going to play matches and you're going to have a side deck. And that's something that's so important that they literally tell you that on the page 2 of the rulebook. And they don't have it. But that was probably the thing that got me the most. I honestly could see Master Duel only having the OCG rulings on hand triggers, because programming a completely different way to check trigger effects would probably take some time. I was hoping for it to have 2 ban lists, but going into this, was there a chance that there could only be 1 ban list and Konami just forgets about the TCG? I mean, they've done it in the past, so it wouldn't be outside of Konami's habits to do it, I guess. Not that it would be okay for them to do it after specifically outlining the TCG, in my opinion, but could I see it happen? Yeah. But missing matches, the way any sort of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played in a game that's supposed to allow you to enjoy the OCG TCG, like no matter on which side of the world you are, and you go to a tournament, it's matches. So I'll just leave this one bit before I stop. I don't know how you can fully enjoy the OCG and TCG in a game if the game doesn't play with the same rule as the OCG or the TCG and totally ignores how it's played in the events that are hosted by the same company that made the game. Oh, and by the way, I kept playing because I wanted to test the rulings, and to no one's surprise, it was the OCG hand triggers, and just like the ban list or the best of ones, you're stuck with it, there's no option to change it. The game feels like it was launched too early. It's missing on a few platforms, some things that I was told are not there, and don't get me wrong, I still had fun, but I wanted to play a certain way after I was basically told I would be able to do so, and I wasn't able to do so. So to end this, I think the best way to do it would be to answer a question someone in my chat asked me when I was about to finish the stream. And they basically asked me if I would see myself coming back to Master Duel in its current state. To be honest, probably not. Why would I go back to a game to play Yu-Gi-Oh! When I can play the Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually want to play on something like EDO Pro or Dueling Book? Sure, maybe for fun I'll just pop in there, but I'm interested in playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In the way the TCG does it, with the TCG ban list, and Master Duel does not have that. I can see the appeal that a lot of people have, but to me, when you say that players will be able to do something while using your product and they can't, people are going to get angry, even if it's a good and appealing product. And some people are going to be spiteful to the point where they won't use it, and I think that's where I am. Is it a good reaction to have? To be honest, I don't know. But hey, maybe in a couple of months, all the problems I outlined will be fixed. There will be a TCG ban list. The game will be out on mobile. There will be the exclusive cards for both regions. There will be ranked matches and the side decks will be a thing. And when that happens, I'm certainly looking forward to playing that game again. Anyways, thanks for watching me mainly talk about how Master Duel promised on some things and they didn't deliver. And I guess if you want to see my reactions to the thing I mentioned, or if you want to see the 2 duels I got where the opponent didn't just surrender immediately because they were playing a starter deck, the stream highlights should be on the screen right now. Anyways, guess I'll see you next time.